I want to tell you a story, basically, of how and why I moved my family from the UK here to South Africa. But first, I need some coffee. This is a really long story, but maybe interesting to some. It started like 2 years ago, and often with these kinds of stories where people sell everything and, you know, head out to the countryside or whatever, you only really see the fruits of it. You don't really get to see the giant unformed piece of clay that takes 2 years to mold to get to a position like that. I've been married to my wife for 13 years, and we have 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And that's a big deal to move them out of family and friend circles and school and relocate all the way to South Africa. But we did. We sold everything in the UK and we moved to South Africa. Now it's a bold thing, but I'm South African. I was born here, my family are here, my parents are here, my sister is here. It's a bit like coming home, I guess. Now you hear a lot of horror stories about South Africa, and yes, there are some difficult things that the nation faces, and kind of like were really scary to try and to deal with. There were a few big hurdles, particularly with our endeavour. We bought a farm here in South Africa, and if you are up to date at all with any of the news, you'll see that there are land reform policies and all sorts of land expropriation things going on in South Africa, which can make you feel very, very unsettled as a white person. Nevertheless, I love South Africa. I love this place. I love the people. It's a very frustrating nation, but it's an amazing, amazing place to be. So, over a process of about 2 years, we decided that we wanted to change. We were tired of the sort of humdrum of, life in the UK. It can become very beige, and everybody's got a 3-year-old car or a brand new car and a 11 by 15 meter house, and everyone's got a mortgage, and that's sort of started to frustrate me. Anyway, a small piece of land that means a lot to me came available here in South Africa. Like, the ideal piece of land right next door to 2 of my closest childhood friends, and it's around 25 acres-ish. They each have huge farms, but this is a little bit of land that's sandwiched in between these 2 people, in between these 2 families that we love and that we trust. So, from the UK, back a couple of years ago, I made a plan with my parents for them to sell their house and for us to sell our house in the UK, and to combine our efforts and purchase this piece of land. It's been a total nightmare, and we've been in South Africa for around 6.5, 7 months, something like that. So it's still early days. But the idea and the theory of it all is to create an easier life by joining forces and joining resources. The aim is to work the land, the aim is to have an outdoor lifestyle, the aim is to go debt free, to give our kids a real tactile childhood of raising animals. If you're a meat eater, like we are going to raise animals all free range and organic, and we'll take the responsibility of having them butchered and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want my kids to be detached from that process and to just buy it in a cellophane wrapper and never think twice about it. So we wanted to give an opportunity for them. I wanted to kind of, spread my wings a little bit. I don't have the exact same opportunities in the UK. It's very difficult to buy a big piece of land and to start an endeavor like this unless you have tons of money and family connections and things like that. So we decided to come out to South Africa. My parents are at retirement age, and that was a big factor as well, helping them move in to a retirement where we would start working the farm more and they would start relaxing. and doing less and less, and just kind of having living rights and not worrying about food and mortgages and all that kind of thing. We are very much at the early stages of that plan. So in short, we lived in the UK for many years. We sold everything, literally everything, from lawnmowers to beds to TV units to sofas. We gave loads of stuff away, the weird stuff that you can't really sell, like knives and forks and utensils and stuff like that. We boxed and put in my wife's parents' loft, and we'll deal with that at a later stage. We decided not to ship all of our stuff because of the cost, the huge cost implications to get things over here. And so we basically came over with 5 suitcases, 5 bags, and have started from scratch. This is a cabin that we've rented while we figure things out, while the plan evolves. It's lovely. It's in the woods. It's behind a single access controlled gate, so it's nice and safe. My job requires me to travel a lot. I'm away from home for 5 months of the year roughly as a travel photographer, and so I wanted them to be safe here renting while we kind of figure things out. The plan, which I'm telling you about now, is that we're going to build a house on the farm. I'm meeting with a draftsman. I don't know what they call a draftsman, a plan drawer guy. He's not an architect, but you basically just give him all your ideas and he kind of tells you, okay, this needs to be like that, that's got to be so wide, and he basically drafts the plan. That goes for submission to the local municipality, and they either say yes, you can build, or no, the land is restricted. So far we've been told that this land doesn't have any restriction like that, and you can put an additional residential dwelling on. So as today, my parents live on the cottage on the farm, and my wife Laura and I will be building a house about 40 meters away from them, and we will have a garden between the 2 houses, and hopefully, all going well, we can do it all cash and not have to get a loan from the bank or a mortgage or a bond or whatever you call it. The interest rate here in South Africa is humongous, so if you want to borrow money from the bank for a house or any kind of real estate, it's basically a minimum of about a 10% interest rate, which is just killer. We have a bit of savings because we sold property in the UK, and my parents sold property here, and we've combined to try and make this farm work. So this is very much an intro video for where this YouTube channel is going to go. I'm totally restructuring things, and I've been quiet. I have been very quiet on YouTube for the last few months, I'd say 7-8 months, because it's been a hell of a process. It's been very stressful, it's been very tiring, it's put a lot of strain on the 2 families. So is it worth it? Yeah, I don't know, I can't answer you. We're just starting to see the fruit on the trees. It's been a very long, hard slog to do all the groundwork to get here. The other main purpose of this farm was to create an infrastructure where we could start multiple streams of income. Those streams of income are hopefully going to be bees. We're going to farm some honey. I can't wait to do that. I have such a deep passion to farm bees and to harvest honey. I think that is just such a beautiful thing to do. But more on that later. We have started with sheep and cattle, and we've got some success there. We've sold 2 cattle already, which is fantastic. And the other one is making and selling furniture. Very, very old school, but my dad's an old school woodworker. Very, very talented guy, and great guy to have around. He's actually the main reason why we've decided to build a house on the farm, is because he's basically got all the skills to allow us to do that without having to hire a building company. That's, you know, can be 40% of the cost of the build, which becomes prohibitive, and then we can't do it all cash. So I've been racking my brain, searching on the internet, finding inspiration for what this house should look like. We've gone around the houses, not intended, we've gone round and round with container houses, wooden frame houses, brick houses with cavity walls, to M9 and M6 block houses, and I tell you, it's crazy the amount of time that thinking about and planning to build a house just takes. Having said all that, I have finally settled on an L-shaped design. We're gonna have one side of the L is gonna be like a grand room, where you'll have your kitchen, lounge, or kitchen, dining, lounge, and the other side is going to be just the bedrooms and bathroom. Really simple, really simple, rustic, contemporary farmhouse. The next thing I need to do is actually take you out there to show you the piece of land, and to show you why I think South Africa has so much potential. And I'm hoping that you will fall in love with it too when you come along with us on this journey. We're going to be a lot more active on this channel now. I think it's a topic that a few people are interested in jumping out of the rat race and trying to use whatever's in your hand to make the best for you and your family. It's a difficult thing, it's a scary thing, it's very intimidating, but we've started, we're here, we're still alive, we're still good, and we are moving forward. So please join us on this journey. I'm excited for sure, and if you're interested at all in what it looks like to relocate a family and go right back to the basics of farming a piece of land, growing your own food, and creating multiple streams of income around a lifestyle, then please stay tuned. Your support would be very much appreciated, and I hope you enjoy it. So stick with us, and I'll see you again soon.